How similar are Spanish flu and COVID-19?
Political ruckus continues in Rajasthan. Rajasthan Speaker C.P. Joshi approached the Supreme Court against order of the High Court directing a stay on disqualification proceedings against MLAs of Sachin Pilot camp. ED raids premises of Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot's brother in a fertilizer scam case. Newly elected Rajya Sabha members take oath today. Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu administer the oath. Says during this crisis period, MPs of the country will also play their role like other corona warriors of the country. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu unveils the statue of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in CAG building. Says today the CAG is following Baba Saheb's vision. CAG's Rajiv Maharishi also addresses the program. Three-day Indian Air Force Commanders Conference begins. Three-day biennial conference inaugurated by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. Theme of the conference, IAF in the next decade. Prime Minister Narendra Modi congratulates nuclear scientists on achieving criticality of Kakrapur Atomic Power Plant 3. Says this reactor is a shining example of Make in India. Home Minister Amit Shah stated it is a big day in India's nuclear history. Prime Minister Modi to deliver keynote address virtually at India Idea Summit today. Summit will discuss about India-US cooperation in a post-COVID world. Over 7.53 lakh people in India recover from COVID-19 disease. Recovery rate improves to 63.12%. Lockdown restrictions are being imposed in many urban areas of Chhattisgarh from today. State Police conducts flag march in Raipur. Over 1.50 crore COVID-19 cases reported globally. Good evening and welcome to this bulletin. I'm Shubhendu Ghosh. Political ruckus continues in Rajasthan. Rajasthan Speaker C.P. Joshi today approached Supreme Court against the order of the High Court directing a stay on disqualification proceedings against MLAs of Sachin Pilot camp. Speaker has alleged that the order of High Court is a direct intrusion into the domain of the legislative. High Court has directed the Speaker to defer the anti-defection proceedings till July 24th.
मैंने आज निर्णय किया तो मेरे काउंसिल को सुप्रीम कोर्ट में एसएलपी देने के लिए मैंने आज कहा है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ये एसएलपी दे कि क्यों हम वी आर हेडिंग फॉर ए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल क्राइसिस। रोल डिफाइन है स्पीकर की और कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में वो ऑथोरिटी अपने रोल को कैसे डिस्चार्ज करे ये वेल डिफाइन है। इसलिए हम कॉन्स्टिट्यूशनल क्राइसिस की तरफ बढ़े उससे पहले मैंने उचित समझा कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट के अंतर्गत एसएलपी दायर की जाए।
Union Minister Harsimrat Kaur Badal has slammed Congress. She accused the Congress of spreading confusion among people with regard to ordinance brought by the centre on farmers. Speaking to DD News, she said this ordinance has given freedom to farmers in the right sense.
आज देश भर में जो ये किसानों को भड़काने की बात की जा रही है, ये भ्रम पैदा किया जा रहा है कि मोदी साहब ने 3 ऑर्डिनेंस जो लेके आए हैं मोदी सरकार, उससे किसानों का बहुत बड़ा नुकसान होगा और पंजाब हरियाणा में एमएसपी खत्म हो जाएगा, मंडीकरण ढांचा खत्म हो जाएगा। ये ऑर्डिनेंस जो लेके आए मोदी साहब, इनमें क्या है? इनमें एक तो लिखा है कि किसान को आज से बाद आजादी देश भर में है कि उसको जबरदस्ती मंडी के राही नहीं वो अपनी फसल देश के किसी कोने में बेच सकता है। दूसरी बात ये कही गई है कि जो आज तक मंडियां सिर्फ सरकारों के कब्जे में होती थी, अब कोई भी लाइसेंस सरकार से लेके मंडी लगा सकता है।
The Enforcement Directorate raided the premises of Rajasthan Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot's brother today as part of countrywide raids in connection with a money laundering case linked to a fertilizer scam. Searches are being conducted by the Central Probe Agency in at least 13 places in Rajasthan, West Bengal, Gujarat and Delhi. Searches are also being conducted at premises of Agrasen Gehlot in Jodhpur, who is facing ₹7 crore customs penalty in this alleged fertilizer case. Raids also being conducted at the residence of former MP Badriram Chakar. The Enforcement Directorate has filed a criminal case under Prevention of Money Laundering Act based on a Customs Department complaint and charge sheet in the alleged fertilizer scam case. Moving on, newly elected members of Rajya Sabha took oath today. Rajya Sabha Speaker and Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu administered the oath to 45 of 61 newly elected members of the upper house. BJP leader Jyotiraditya Scindia, Congress leader Digvijay Singh, Mallikarjun Kharge, Shiv Sena leader Priyanka Chaturvedi were among the leaders who were sworn in today during the ceremony. The elections for 61 seats of Rajya Sabha from 20 states were held last month. BJP's tally of members in the house has now reached 86 from 75. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu today unveiled the statue of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar at the premises of Comptroller and Auditor General of India. Vice President said that today CAG is following Baba Sahib's vision.
Baba Sahib's life and work have inspired the entire nation. And it is heartening to see that the core values of the CAG, independence, objectivity, integrity, reliability, professional excellence, transparency and positive approach draws inspiration from his life and work. Today, the CAG has evolved as an enabler to Baba Sahib's vision that will not only ensure public financial accountability, but also act as a friend, philosopher, and guide of the executive. Many reports of the CAG and the consequent deliberations in the committee of the legislatures have led to various changes in the regular framework, governance, structures, and delivery mechanism of the government, thereby ensuring economy, efficiency, effectiveness of government operations.
The top brass of Air Force is meeting today on the first day of the Air Force Commanders Conference. The three-day biennial conference was inaugurated by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The theme of the conference is Indian Air Force in the next decade. Air Force Chief Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadauria also addressed the top commanders. During the three-day conference, discussions would take stock of the current operational scenario and deployments. The plan of action for operational capability enhancement of the IAF in the next decade will also be taken up. Supreme Court has issued a contempt notice to Advocate Prashant Bhushan in the case of alleged objectionable remarks against the judges of the Apex Court. A bench of Justices Arun Mishra, Justice B.R. Gavai, Justice Krishna Murari has also asked Attorney General K.K. Venugopal to assist the court in the case. Meanwhile, a microblogging site Twitter, which was made a party in the case, told the court that it will remove Bhushan's objectionable tweet on the court's order. In a tweet, Prashant Bhushan had alleged that previous 4 former Chief Justices of the Apex Court had weakened the Supreme Court. Taking cognizance of these comments, the court initiated contempt proceedings of the court. The next hearing in the matter will be on August 5th. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has congratulated nuclear scientists on achieving criticality of Kakrapar Atomic Power Plant 3. He also hailed the 700 megawatt reactor as a shining example of Make in India and a trailblazer for many such future achievements, he said. And Union Home Minister Amit Shah also congratulated the scientists. In a tweet message, he said, "Big day in India's nuclear history as indigenously designed 700 megawatt Kakrapar Atomic Power Plant 3 in Gujarat achieved criticality. Nation salutes our scientists on this stellar achievement. New India is marching ahead to realize Prime Minister Modi's vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat." Information and Broadcasting Minister Prakash Javadekar has congratulated the nuclear scientists for achieving criticality of the same atomic power plant 3 in Gujarat. In a tweet message, the minister says, "Big day in India's nuclear history as Kakrapar Atomic Power Plant 3 achieves criticality. Many congratulations to our nuclear scientists. Nuclear is a zero-emission clean energy source. The 700 megawatt plant is another shining success of Make in India. Atmanirbhar Bharat marches on." Some weather update now. Delhi Heights witnessed a fresh spell of rain slashing parts of the capital city. Its adjoining areas. Temperatures in the national capital also dropped to 27 degrees Celsius as a result of the heavy downpour. Meanwhile, roads under the Minto Bridge in Delhi has been closed for commuters due to waterlogging. Delhi Traffic Police has also issued advisory requesting people to use alternate routes. Meanwhile, Vijay Chowk also witnessed rain showers today. Parts of Noida were also inundated in water due to heavy rainfall in the region. Let's take stock of the flood situation. Assam flood situation remains unchanged as incessant rains in past 3 days have slowed down the pace of improvement in the scenario. Rather, 2 more persons lost their lives yesterday. With this, flood-induced fatalities have reached 87. Another 26 people died due to landslides this year. Above 24 lakh people are still affected across 24 districts. 2,323 villages under 69 revenue circles and more than 1,10,000 hectares of cropland are submerged. 44,498 inmates are staying in 276 relief camps across the state. River Brahmaputra, along with most of its tributaries in at least 10 districts, are above the danger mark. So far, more than 200 embankments, 168 bridge and culvert, and above 1,600 roads got damaged due to the floods in Assam this year. The deluge has caused massive erosion across the state, due to which the state has lost a vast amount of land area this year as well. And due to continuous rains in Bihar, water levels of many rivers of the state have again started increasing. Met Department has issued warning of heavy rains and thunderstorm in over a dozen districts of the state. As many as 16 people have lost their lives in lightning-related incidents in the past 24 hours in Bihar. Of these, 7 people died in Banka, 3 each in Nalanda and Jamui, 1 each in East Champaran, Jahanabad and Nevada. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar has announced ex gratia of ₹4 lakh each for the next of kin of the deceased. The water level of the major rivers, including Gandak, Bagmati, Kosi and Mahananda, along with their tributaries, has started rising. Water discharge in Gandak barrage has reached its peak. The last night's discharge was around 4.30 lakh cusecs of water. Heavy rains occurred in catchment areas of various rivers in the past 24 hours. A population of around 3 lakh people across 9 districts has so far been affected. In Muzaffarpur, NDRF continues with the relief and rescue work. Monsoons have swept different parts of the country. Himachal Pradesh is also witnessing massive rainfall since the past 3 days, leading to mercury dropping by 2 to 3 degrees Celsius. The Met Department has issued low visibility alert in the state for the next couple of days. IMD Director of Himachal Pradesh, Manmohan Singh, said Himachal Pradesh will see more rainfall with lightning and thunderstorm in the next 24 hours, while next 2 days will remain dry till July 24th.
आज भी वाइड स्प्रेड बारिश होने की पॉसिबिलिटी है। कुछ एक जगह पे हैवी बारिश हो सकती है, जिसके लिए वार्निंग भी इशू की गई है। हैवी वार्न जो बारिश है वो हिमाचल प्रदेश के डिस्ट्रिक्ट शिमला, सोलन, सिरमौर, मंडी, बिलासपुर, हमीरपुर और साथ में डिस्ट्रिक्ट कांगड़ा और चंबा में जो है वो पॉसिबिलिटी है। तो इन इलाकों में एक दो स्थानों पे बारिश जो है वो हो सकती है, हैवी भी।
Let's now take a look at the COVID-19 impact in India. The highest ever number of recoveries have been recorded in the last 24 hours. 28,472 patients of coronavirus have been cured and discharged in the last 24 hours. Over 7.5 lakh COVID patients have recovered from the disease so far. Cumulative figure of recovered cases among COVID-19 patients stands at 7,53,049 as on date. The recovery rate improves to 63.13%. 19 states or union territories have registered higher rate of recovery than 63.13%. That's the national average. Medical attention is being provided to all the 4,11,133 active cases of COVID-19 in hospitals and home isolation. The case fatality rate in the country continues to register a steady downfall. It has dropped to 2.40% as of now. India has one of the lowest case fatality rates in the world. 28,732 patients have died so far due to COVID-19. In view of the surge in COVID-19 cases, fresh lockdown restrictions are being imposed in many urban areas of Chhattisgarh, including capital Raipur, Birgaon municipal corporation areas from today till midnight of 28 July. In Raipur, Surguja, Baloda Bazar districts, the lockdown has been reimposed from today, while in urban areas of Durg, Korba, Bilaspur districts, the new restrictions would come into effect from Thursday. All government, semi-government, private offices have been closed during the reimposition of lockdown restrictions. Public transport service will also remain closed. Commercial institutions and weekly markets remain closed during the lockdown period. Essential services, however, will be exempted in this phase. In the wake of spurt in COVID-19 cases at several places, including in the state capital Raipur, state police conducted a flag march in Raipur to strictly enforce lockdown in the state. Chhattisgarh government has decided to authorize district collectors concerned to take a call after assessing the situation for imposing restrictions. Chhattisgarh has so far recorded 5,729 COVID-19 cases.
रात 12 बजे से लेके 12 बजे तक जो अभी जो कंटेनमेंट जोन के हिसाब से जो शक्तियाँ जो हम बरतने जा रहे हैं, जनता से हम यही अपील करना चाहेंगे, अनावश्यक चीज़ों को या आवश्यक रूप के लिए आप बाहर निकलें, अनावश्यक बाहर ना निकलें। और हम लोगों ने ये भी एक अपील, मैं और एसपी साहब दोनों एक संयुक्त अपील भी जारी किए हैं, जो नो व्हीकल ऑन रोड, उसमें ज़्यादा जोर देने की ज़रूरत है।
जो वेहिकुलर मूवमेंट है उसको थोड़ा रेस्ट्रिक्ट करना है, क्योंकि ये मानने के लिए हम लोग सभी से अपील कर रहे हैं कि रायपुर और बीरगांव का जो नगर निगमीय क्षेत्र है ये ऑलमोस्ट काइंड ऑफ कंटेनमेंट जोन अपने आप को समझें कि जैसे कंटेनमेंट में शर्तों का पालन करना होता है, वैसे ही 7 दिन के लिए सभी लोग ईमानदारी से इसमें पालन करें। और जैसा कलेक्टर साहब ने अभी कहा कि नो व्हीकल ऑन मूवमेंट ऑन रोड, वो अभी हम लोग इन्फोर्स करना चाहेंगे, ताकि किसी को एकदम अत्यंत आवश्यक है भी तो वो अपने लोकल एरिया में पैदल जो सुबेरे 6 से 9 का टाइम है उसी टाइम में अपनी जो दैनिक आवश्यकता की चीज़ें हैं जो अलाउ की गई हैं वो यूज़ कर ले। उसके अलावा कोई भी मेडिकल इमरजेंसी के अलावा या जो बाहर से आने वाले यात्री हैं उनके अलावा किसी भी प्रकार का मूवमेंट मोस्टली हम रेस्ट्रिक्ट करेंगे, हम अलाउ नहीं कर पाएंगे।
And COVID-19 induced lockdown is no longer in force in Bengaluru from today. People head out in Bengaluru as the lockdown has been lifted in the state from today by Chief Minister B.S. Yediyurappa. The night curfew from 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. and Sunday curfew will continue to stay in place. Though Chief Minister has urged people to wear masks and observe social distancing norms in order to combat spread of COVID-19 in the state. Further, he added that strict measures in containment zones should be implemented. And Chennai continues to show stable numbers of COVID-19 cases, although it still tops the list in Tamil Nadu, accounting for 1,130 cases of virus, followed by Tiruvallur with more than 365 and Virudhunagar with 360. The total number of cases in Tamil Nadu so far stands at 1,80,643 with 4,894 persons recovered, taking the total number of recovered patients in Tamil Nadu to 1,26,670. Ghaziabad journalist Vikram Joshi succumbed to his injuries in hospital today after being shot in the head by some assailants. Joshi, who had lodged a complaint with the police alleging harassment of his niece on July 16th, was shot near his home in Vijayanagar area on Monday. Meanwhile, police have arrested 9 people who are under the cloud in a case, and investigation is still underway.
पूरे प्रकरण में जो वादी की तहरीर है उसके अनुसार रात में 6 टीमें बनाई गई थी और धरपकड़ शुरू कर दी गई थी। सीसीटीवी फुटेज के आधार पर भी अभियुक्तों की पहचान की गई। पूरी कार्रवाई करते हुए कुल मिलाकर के 9 लोगों को पुलिस ने रातों रात गिरफ्तार किया। इसी में ही जो एक मुख्य जिसने गोली चलाई थी, छोटू नामक जो युवक है, उसको भी पुलिस ने गिरफ्तार किया है। उससे अवैध तमंचा भी जो है वो बरामद किया गया है। 3 मुख्य आरोपी थे और उसके अलावा 7 नाम और प्रकाश में आए थे, 6 नाम और प्रकाश में आए थे। जो मामले हैं वो चौकी इंचार्ज के पास आए थे, लेकिन उसने वहाँ पर प्रोफेशनली उस पर एक्ट नहीं किया। उसका काम था इसको रजिस्टर करा करके इसकी विवेचना करवाता, लेकिन उसके द्वारा ऐसा नहीं किया गया है। इसलिए उसके विरुद्ध जो है सस्पेंशन की कार्रवाई की गई है।
And Union Minister Prakash Javadekar expressed grief on Vikram Joshi's murder. In a tweet message, he says, I'm extremely anguished on the murder of journalist Vikram Joshi. The culprits are apprehended, but we have lost a life. My condolences to his family members. That's a tweet message, condolence message sent by Union Minister Prakash Javadekar. Prime Minister Narendra Modi's address to an India-US Business Summit. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will address India Idea Summit today. The summit is being hosted by US-India Business Council on its 45th anniversary. The summit brings together officials from India and the United States for setting a post-COVID-19 agenda of cooperation. The theme for this year's India Idea Summit is Building a Better Future. The summit will witness discussions on areas including India-US cooperation, future of relations between the two countries in a post-pandemic world. Participants in the summit will discuss a wide range of topics, including the impact of coronavirus on global supply chain and healthcare collaboration between US and India. The virtual summit will feature high-level presence from Indian and US government policymakers, state-level officials and thought leaders from business and society. The Enforcement Directorate has filed a money laundering case in Kerala gold smuggling scandal. ED is the third agency to launch an investigation in the scandal after Customs and National Investigation Agency. However, a money laundering probe will be different from other investigations. It will allow the ED to attach properties of the accused people and investigate shell companies if found involved in smuggling of gold. The case came to light after Customs Department seized some 30 kilogram gold from a consignment that came in the name of an official of the UAE consulate in Thiruvananthapuram on July 5th. US Secretary of State Mike Pompeo has said that Communist Party of China has been exploiting the COVID pandemic to further its interests globally. US State Secretary also called the world to work together to ensure that every country, including China, behaves in the international system in the ways that are appropriate, consistent with the international order. Casting China as an aggressor, Pompeo said that it had made illegal maritime claims, bullied Himalayan countries, covered up coronavirus outbreak, and exploited it to further its own interest in a disgraceful way.
Can't go make claims for maritime regions that you have no lawful claim to. You can't threaten countries and bully them in the Himalayas. You can't engage in cover-ups and co-opt international institutions like the World Health Organization. We want to see every nation who understands freedom and democracy and values that and knows that it's important to their own people, their own sovereign country, to be successful, to understand this threat that the Chinese Communist Party is posing to them, and to work both themselves and collectively to restore what is rightfully ours.
And with that, we conclude this bulletin. Namaskar.